Welcome back, fight fans. In today's roundup, we've got some major updates from the world of MMA, from Dana White's reactions to Khabib being removed from a plane, to new predictions from Alexander Volkanovski on some of the sport's most anticipated matchups. Let's dive into the latest headlines. We're starting things off with an unexpected moment involving Khabib Nurmagomedov. The UFC Hall of Famer was recently removed from a plane by security due to a disagreement during a flight. Now, Dana White, the UFC president, has finally weighed in on the incident. Khabib's one of the most disciplined guys in the sport. If there's anyone who's going to stay calm under pressure, it's Khabib. This just sounds like a misunderstanding, but it's hard to say without all the facts. Khabib, known for his calm demeanor both inside and outside the octagon, isn't exactly someone you'd expect to find in a confrontation. Many fans believe this was just a mix-up, and others are wondering if this is part of a larger trend of fighters facing off with security. Regardless, Khabib is back to his coaching role and hasn't made any public comments about the incident, beyond staying focused on his students. While he may have retired from active fighting, he's still deeply involved in the MMA world, this time as a coach. Recently, he opened up about how long he plans to remain in the coaching game. Exodus 5:29. Khabib Nurmagomedov. Coaching is something I love. I love seeing my fighters grow and succeed. But everything has a time. Maybe in 5 years. Maybe 10. I will step away when I feel I've done everything I can. But for now, I'm here for the team. Khabib's presence in the coaching world has been a game changer for his athletes, especially fighters like Islam Makhachev, who has risen through the ranks with Khabib's guidance. His thoughts on eventually stepping away show a desire for balance, but also a dedication to building the next generation of champions. Moving on to some drama outside the octagon. Bilal Muhammad recently snapped on UFC middleweight champion Sean Strickland. Their rivalry has been brewing for some time, with Strickland's outspoken personality clashing with Muhammad's more measured approach. Bilal says, "This guy Strickland loves to talk about people, but when it's time to step up, he hides behind excuses. You can't keep dodging fights and expect respect from anyone." Muhammad's frustration stems from Strickland's comments about other fighters, and particularly his reluctance to book certain matchups. The two have exchanged verbal jabs on social media, but the question is, will this lead to an eventual showdown in the octagon? Strickland speaks his mind, but he backs it up with wins. Bilal's been calling for big fights too. If the fans want it, we'll make it happen. A potential fight between Strickland and Muhammad could add fuel to an already intense division, and it seems like the UFC might be ready to make this happen. Stay tuned! Now, let's talk about the fight fans have been dreaming about. Conor McGregor versus Jon Jones. It's a matchup that's been discussed for years, and Dana White has provided an update on whether it'll ever happen. Look, both these guys are huge names in MMA. Conor's dealing with his recovery right now. Jon's got his own stuff going on. If it happens, it happens. But right now, I wouldn't hold your breath. Conor McGregor's return to the octagon is still up in the air as he rehabs from injury. Meanwhile, Jon Jones is the reigning UFC heavyweight champion and is rumored to have several potential challengers lined up. While both fighters have teased a potential showdown for years, it looks like this dream fight may not be on the horizon, at least for the time being. Once the hold is over, the time for the challengers is leased for the time being. In other UFC news, Dana White gave a major update regarding UFC 311, the next big pay-per-view event. Initially scheduled for a specific location, UFC officials announced they would be relocating the event to a different city. With the addition of dozens of world-class fighters, there's no sense of preparation. The best thing is to just fly out there and go it alone. Dana White. Sometimes, we have to make adjustments. The pandemic made us rethink some of our strategies, and the world's still in flux. But UFC 311 is going to be a massive event no matter where it happens. While details on the new location are still being finalized, fans can expect a star-studded card with plenty of championship implications. UFC 311 is shaping up to be a can't-miss event, and whether it's in Las Vegas, Dallas, or another major city, the action will be just as intense. And finally, we turn to Alexander Volkanovski, the UFC featherweight champion, who recently shared his predictions on some of the most exciting upcoming matchups. Cut to Volkanovski's interview. Arman vs. Islam? I think Islam's got the edge right now, but Arman is young and hungry. He's got a chance. Jiri vs. Jamahal? That's a tough one, but Jiri's a beast. I'm going with him. Arman vs. Merab? I'm going with Umar, but Merab's cardio is insane. Jiri vs. Jamahal.